We don't have time to take it today, but when we get back.
Don't you just love the smell of a newborn's head?
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of like those novelty candles. You know, some smell like roses and others smell like armpits and vomit.
Were you born without the maternal bone?
Come on, Stacy. Let's not romanticize parenting.
I feel like she's not ready. Are you? Well, I think I am.
I haven't showered in 3 days.
Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and today we are jumping right into the first segment with my first guests, Esau Curry and Abby Joy.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Hi.
So guys, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you are?
Well, my name is Esau Curry. I am a director and an editor for Empty Theater Productions.
Ooh.
My name is Abby Joy, and I am an actress, a singer-songwriter, and model here in the Dallas area.
Woohoo. Okay. Background knowledge on these guys. We just finished a short film called Don't Drink the Water that I second assistant directed. And that's why we're kind of having this segment all together, because I want to talk a little bit about this film and promote it, because I am so proud of this film, to be honest.
Thank you.
I am so proud of the work that everyone put in.
Yeah.
I think it looks really good. So the first question I've got for you is, how did this start? How did this script come up? How did you think of this idea?
It started when I was at UNT in my intermediate script writing class. Professor told me to write something. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to write. He's like, write about your life. That's the best place to start. And he said, you don't have to be exact with it. You can make things fluffy and exaggerate on a lot of things. So I took one little aspect and I exaggerated on it, all of it. And that's where I came up with the idea. And then I gave it to my awesome cousin writer, K. Sam Addison, and she basically ripped it apart all the way down.
This is all terrible.
And no, she didn't say it was terrible.
I'm just kidding. She loved
So
it.
bad. What is this?
Yeah, then she said, how about we do this? How about we flip the male character and make it a female character? And because we're always hearing about guys in the parenting aspect not want to be a parent or being very scared about being a parent. But she said women have the same fears too. So I was open to the idea, and then when she wrote it and sent it to me, I was like, let's go with it. That is awesome.
All right, yeah. All right, Abby Joy, since you're the main character of the film, for the people that haven't seen it, do you want to explain what it's about?
Yeah, absolutely. So to go with what Esau was saying, this film is about a young wife who is not ready to have kids, and her husband definitely is. And she kind of has this perfect life right now with her job. She works as a model, and her husband, and they're both making great money and have an awesome house. And she's afraid to give that up and kind of afraid of what it's going to be like being a mom. And she feels like she's not ready. So you kind of get to see the real comedy behind that. And I really like that it's a female. And I was telling Esau that when I first got the part, and I was like, this is so awesome. This is so real.
Yeah.
He said, I feel this way, because I'm like, I'm not ready for babies. And all my family's like, babies. And they just come out of nowhere, like popping out of the ground. So I was like, I don't really have to act much during this, but I love it. I loved it. I love the idea. So
Awesome, yeah. So Esau, you were the director on this.
Yes.
What is your directing style? How did you go about directing a film like this?
Oh, well, first is basically meetings after meetings after meetings
Fair enough, fair
after
enough.
meetings. But when actually casting for this, just wanted to see if I can see some chemistry. 'Cause funny thing, when we were casting this with Abby and Telvin, when we had a lot of people come in, but they had the biggest chemistry because when they got up there, I was just watching them. I'm like, oh my God, they're about to kiss. Oh my God. Oh my God! And I'm like, oh, these are the two. This is who I want. And after that, I had meetings with Abby and Telvin, and just trying to figure out who they were. We really didn't talk much about the characters because the characters, I wanted them to make them themselves. I wanted them to put their personality into the characters, and it made it a whole lot easier for me to direct or figure out where I needed them to go in certain scenes and how I needed to direct them. Like they really didn't need very much direction from me.
Yeah.
So. That's kind of how my directing style is I get you in there for a job and that's your job and I just need to get you where you need to go.
All right, yeah. What's your point of view on that?
Well, I really enjoyed everything and every moment on set. And even before this film started, I knew it was going to be great because of all the meetings and all the organization and that went behind the scenes. So it made me feel really, really confident. And
Yeah.
I was like already proud of this film before I even, started acting in it because I was like, wow, there's so much preparation going into this. And it was really cool to build relationships. A lot of times you have very short periods of time on set with people and it's hard to build those relationships because it's like, oh, it's a week and now we're done. So it was really nice because, I've made some like lifelong friends from Don't Drink the Water, and it was quite the experience. I loved it.
Yeah, and you from producing, casting, everything, you did that in 3 months. Editing.
It was a team effort. This is I would
True.
say this was the biggest collaboration I think I've done since graduated from UNT. My producers, Jeremy Wilkerson, Shannon Hook.
Go Shannon.
Shannon, and then Scott.
Latimer.
Scott came through big time for us with everything that we needed that we couldn't get our hands on. With those three producing, I knew that we could do something awesome. Then getting my cast in, we had a rock star cast.
We really did.
And crew-wise, with Tom Moore on our lighting, making our film look so cinematic. Just with this lighting, with James too, and then going into our post-production with Tori Martin doing our editing.
Props to Tori.
She is a phenomenal editor.
Absolutely.
She's all mine.
She's my editor. I claim her.
Yeah, with her, with Ben Cortez doing our music score, and then with Suzanne Pham, awesome
Oh my goodness.
location, audio,
So
sound
good.
design. She made our movie not just a 2D movie, but more of a 3-dimensional movie.
Yeah.
I thought that the crew in itself was such a good crew to start with. There was not one bad apple.
I had a lot of people come up to me after the film and they were just like, wow, like that is Hollywood quality. Like that was amazing. And I had some friends from LA actually who are used to seeing a lot of short films and a lot of indie stuff. And they were like, that just blew it out of the park. And I was like, well, that's what happens when you get a group of people together where everybody is the best at what they do. Nobody's, mediocre or slacking.
Yeah.
Like everybody's on top of it and it shows.
Yeah, and as Issa always says, don't try to wear more than one hat.
Yes.
No.
If you're the director, put your director hat on and let everyone else wear their hats and don't try to take over.
Don't micromanage people. People don't like being micromanaged. You hire them for a job.
You trust them.
Trust them that they can pull that job and see what they can do. Because my thing is I gave Abby this is your character.
Yeah.
You take responsibility for your character. This is Tyler Case, our DP, phenomenal
Whoa,
DP.
my goodness,
Everything just
Tyler.
flowed.
Yes.
Just gave them this is your job. This is your piece of the movie. I give everybody ownership of the movie. And once you have ownership, I feel like people will go out of their way to even make it even better when they know that this is theirs.
So are you planning on entering this into any future film festivals or competitions, or is there a longer cut?
We have, yes, there is a longer cut that is actually working right now, but not that, we're not doing a lot to it. We're having this awesome beginning that Shannon has made us put in the movie that that got taken out for time purposes, but we're putting that all back in, and just a couple of little B-roll things that we want to put in. But other than that, we think our film is perfect as it is. So.
For your knowledge, we entered this into round 5 of Rack Focus film competition here in Dallas, Texas, hosted by the beautiful person that owns this entire studio, Israel Luna. So it was a short film festival that we entered this into.
And it got nominated for Best Film, Best Actress, and Best Actor.
So
yes, phenomenal actors right here got nominated.
Woo-hoo.
It was awesome.
Yes, and we will find out if we got anything or who wins overall this weekend on Saturday. So perfect, yeah. So to wrap up this segment just a little bit, what is your advice to anybody wanting to make an indie film here in Dallas, Texas?
Plan, and plan some more. Build a team around you that can help you grow, that can help your idea grow, and always be open for change, because you're not always going to have the best idea. Don't think that you're going to have the best idea. Yes, you are the director, and yes, your idea, you have this vision, this huge vision, but sometimes your crew is there to bring you back down and kind of level you out and help you along the way. So just always just have trust in your crew and have trust in your actors. So that's my advice, yeah.
And what's your advice for someone trying to prepare for a role that
like you said, plan, but study your character, study the script. One thing that Esau had, me and Telvin do, he said, I want you to know that script backwards and forwards. I want you to know the other people's lines, and that's really important if you want to understand the meaning and you want to understand your character and build a backstory of your character. Don't think of her or him as two-dimensional, know where they came from, how they grew up, and do your work, do your homework, and you'll be very confident in what you do. So yeah.
All right, yeah. Where can we find y'all at? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on it all, Twitter and Instagram at AbbyJoy0125. I'm on Facebook as well as Abby Joy. So please follow me. I also wrote a song for Don't Drink the Water.
Oh, yeah, we forgot to talk about that. All right, back it up just 2 steps. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. This song, I was actually listening to it on the way here because I'm a nerd and I listen to myself. I'm like, this is really good. This song kind of was something I had written like a year ago, actually. And Esau had asked me to write a song for the film, which I love doing. I love writing original songs for films. And I just couldn't. I was trying to come up with all these ideas and throwing papers away one after another. And I got angry and started playing this old song. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is it. Yeah. This is the heartbeat of the movie. And so I showed it to him, and surprisingly enough, they loved it. So me and Tony Kuzelis helped me record it, along with a wonderful drummer, Tara Fike, and we got together and just hashed it out and recorded this amazing song, which I will be posting probably tomorrow morning. So yes, you'll see that on abbyjoymusic.com, which is where I keep a lot of my music updated.
Just let you know, the song is honestly the heartbeat, and when you hear the song for the first time in the movie,
good.
It makes your heart just so warm inside.
I remember we were sitting in a meeting.
We
were sitting in a meeting.
One of the many
and
meetings.
Abby Joy pulls out this notebook piece of paper and was like, I have a song for y'all. And started singing. And I sat and I listened to the first line, and I was like, yeah, this is it. Found it. I found it.
Yes.
First line.
I'm so happy. Happy it worked out, because yeah, I gotta do something with those songs.
There's so many of them.
There is a bucket of them. So
all right, well, finally, we're actually wrapping it up this time. So where can we find you at, Esau?
You actually cannot find me because I need to build a director page. Because I'm kind of fiddly with my Facebook page. If I meet you, I will friend you. And if I talk to you before, if I haven't talked to you before, I won't click the confirm button. I'm
Fair
just
enough.
really weird like that. Though,
No, I'm
but
usually the same way, so don't take offense.
I
Don't
will
be
build a director
Yeah.
page, though. But you can find my demo reels on YouTube and on my Vimeo channel, just Esau Curry, ISSA. So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being on my show. I really enjoyed this interview.
Well,
actually.
Absolutely.
can I say one last thing
Go for it.
about Sammy? You did a wonderful job casting my kids for the
Thanks.
movie. I
Thank
gave
you.
Abby full control over all the children
Sammy.
in the.
I'm
Not
Sammy.
Abby,
I'm not
Sammy.
I'm sorry, Sammy. Abby.
Give Sammy all the control.
They're all around.
You don't
me.
want to give me the control of the children. That would be a very
I
bad
was
idea.
official kid wrangler on the
No,
set.
she wasn't just the kid wrangler. She casted them. I mean, she got everyone there, and she actually got them to give their performance the way I needed them to have. Because I could not worry about the kids on set
Oh, yeah.
doing everything else.
Okay. Two rules to filmmaking. Don't work with animals and don't work with really small children.
Or babies that don't
or
show
babies.
He's already worked with a
Oh,
baby,
shade.
up. Yeah.
and I'm gonna make him work with a live animal.
Yeah,
this
she
shortly
is.
here.
Uh-oh.
We'll see how that
We'll
goes.
see how that-
All right. Well, y'all guys better keep us updated.
Yeah.
We will.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on my show today. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you for having
Me
us.
too,
All right.
Sammy.
Go and watch Don't Drink the Water. It's a really good film. I'm sure.
Not yet. They can't see it just yet.
You
It's-
can't see it yet,
it's on this
but
festival
look
run.
out for it.
Yeah.
Look out for it. Any date that you think it'll be coming out?
Probably in a year because this festival run, we want to send it up for a year of festival run because we're going to send
Fair
it
enough.
to any and every festival we can. So
All right.
A-list, B-list, all of them.
Keep looking out for it. Keep looking out for it. All right. Thank you so much for being on my show, and we are going to wrap up this segment, and I will come back after a small break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a long night. I'm tired and my knees are weak. The pavement is cold. The rain covered the lines in a glare that hurt my eyes. It's time to go. Follow me home. Follow me home. Follow me home. It's time to go. Breathing in. Life flies by in the turn of a page. Wrap around me. I could stay forever, but I've lost all control. It's time to go. Follow me home. Follow me home. Follow me home. It's time to go.
Whoa. Hi, guys. Welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host, Samantha here, and this is our next segment. We are trying to get our next guest connected. His name is Dave Hardberger, sorry. I kind of want to let him introduce himself because he probably has a better introduction than I will. But we are trying our best to get him connected right now. Our software has been glitching so bad. If you watch the last episode, you'll understand. So we're trying to get this figured out. So for now, I'm just going to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you. I guess we'll do a kind of a little bit of a do's and don'ts segment. So we'll start with acting, I guess. So I was a part of Don't Drink the Water, which our entire last segment was about that film. And I helped cast. I was in the room when we casted the entire film. I was the casting director for the kids department. And I want to just tell you a little bit about castings. So when you go into a casting, don't be nervous, because there were a lot of people that went into that casting really nervous, and I felt that their performances could have been better. I was expecting a lot more than I got. And I'm just telling you, don't be nervous, because you're not going to get everything. The worst we can tell you is no. We're not going to be like, oh, you're an awful actor, never do this again. The worst we're going to say is you're not right for this part. You're a great actor, but for our film, for this particular part, you just did not meet the expectation that we had. And just don't be nervous. So for the kids department, if you were a parent watching or a kid watching, I want to kind of explain a little bit about what I had to do for the kids. Is I sent out a mass email, Facebook message kind of thing asking for headshots. Because for kids, depending on what the part is, we'll ask for a headshot first just to see what you look like, a resume sometimes to see what you've done, what kind of projects you've worked on, and then if we have to, we'll call in for a casting. But normally it all starts online when I ask, hey, this is the age range I need, this is the gender I need, this is the look I'm needing. Do you have a headshot? I send it a headshot, an updated headshot, because you send me a headshot when your little girl was 3 and now she's 5. She looks a lot different, kind of thing. So keep your headshots updated for castings, because I did it all through headshots. I met the kids that I casted on that day. So, keep your headshots updated. And for adults, don't be nervous. So I'm getting looks. So I will see you in just a second when we get Dave connected. Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and we are connected with Dave. So I think we're just going to go ahead and switch over to that, and we'll start our interview.
Okay. Hi there.
Hi.
Where do you want to start?
Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
I'm not.
Am I not coming through? Samantha?
I can't hear.
Samantha?
Oh, hello. I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me. Excellent.
Awesome.
And
Perfect.
yeah, I should change the camera. I'm seeing too much of a double chin.
All right. How you been?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? All right. So I'm really excited for this interview today. I've got your questions here. We'll go ahead and start with, do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us what you do.
Okay. I'm David Hardberger. I've been in film since... Okay, several of my friends insist that I worked on Intolerance with D.W. Griffith during the silent period. That is totally untrue. Don't believe those guys at all. But I have been in film since the early 70s in various capacities, and mostly in camera, a little bit in production.
All right.
Started off in visual effects on some films that just about everybody's heard of, and some small films. So it's kind of all over the map.
All right, yeah. So I guess I will go ahead and start with your first question, which leads right into that. Is your career began in an explosives company that was in the film industry, which catapulted you into a job with Universal Studios. Like, how did that leap happen?
How the hell did you find out I worked for an explosives company? It's not in my bio.
Secret sources.
Okay, yeah, I did work for an explosives company. Worked there for about 2.5 years, and then I basically I was hanging out at this. It was kind of a folk dance club. Not that I dance, white guy, no rhythm. And I've been putting out feelers that I want to get into the film business.
Yeah.
And this one guy was sitting there, and he just happened to need an assistant. So he brought me on, ended up at Universal. Just, they gave me a nice title and a paycheck. And basically, if you rearranged all the letters, it spelled production assistant.
Fair enough.
So that's how it started. That led into animation. Animation led to a job at a graphics commercial company in Hollywood. One of the guys that did the 7-Up commercials and a lot of other things. And from there, I went on to Close Encounters of the Third Kind with their lead cameraman brought me over.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of, I stayed in visual effects probably for 10 years. And then moved into live action and then got back into visual effects.
So you've worked on some iconic films, including Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. How was working with such iconic directors like Steven Spielberg and Peter Jackson? How was that experience like?
Both Spielberg and Jackson basically have the whole movie playing in their heads. And they will keep pushing until what's up here ends up on the screen.
Huh.
And I liked working with both of them. This was Close Encounters was Steven's, Sugarland Express. I think this was his third film.
All right.
No, fourth, because he did Amblin, Sugarland Express, Jaws, and then Close Encounters.
Okay.
I know, that's way too.
So, on that note, what was your favorite film that you've ever worked on, like that stands out to you the most?
It's a race between Lord of the Rings and Blade Runner.
Okay. Cool.
It's kind of, I like them for different reasons.
So
I like Rings because it gave me a 7-month trip to New Zealand. So I couldn't complain.
I wouldn't complain if I got a 7-month trip to New Zealand. So you said you worked in animations for a while, and you specialized in miniatures, right?
No, when the animation that I was talking about, it was the old, camera shoots down, the cells are on the bed. It's kind of like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, that kind of stuff. Back in the old days before computers came into being. But miniatures are really challenging.
Yeah.
In the respect that you, cameraman, art director, modelers, have to do something that convinces an audience that your miniature is really 100 feet tall.
Yeah. Makes sense.
The trees in the Lothlorien sequence, which is the segment I did on Fellowship of the Ring, that was the first Lord of the Rings. The trees, the base of the trees was real. That was on the set. What we did was took everything from about 9 feet up and then took that from there and made it into what looked like a continuation of the tree, and that the tree was quite large.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so you're a member of you were or are still a member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
Still am, yes.
What are the member obligations that you have to uphold to be a member of that?
There's really not a lot of obligations because I'm in the visual effects branch and just general member in that branch. I'll go to screenings, and when the nominations come, when we have a thing called the Bake Off, and it's showing, I think, 10 visual effects films, and you vote on those, and the top 3 in that get presented to the entire Academy for them to vote on it for best visual effects. Everybody follow that, show of hands out in the audience. But aside from that, and don't sell your DVDs or give them away, because the Academy members will get what we call screeners. And it's for all the films that are trying to be considered in that year. This last year, I got 65 screeners.
Oh.
And they're all watermarked to me. So one of my obligations is don't give them away, don't copy them, don't give them to the library. It's a shame because, I'd like to, but I can't.
Yeah. So you have worked with Mel Brooks, which is a comedic genius in this industry.
On Spaceballs, we never saw him.
Really?
He never came to the effects facility.
Oh, that's fun.
I know, isn't that weird?
That's yeah, that's interesting. So how
I
was
did
that
see him at the
experience
Saturn
like?
Awards, though.
Fair enough. Well, how was that experience like working on Spaceballs?
Spaceballs was fun. It was just a fun movie.
Fair enough. So, on movies that you've worked on, the new Blade Runner 2049 is coming out soon, which is starring Ryan Reynolds. We've read that the original crew and cast aren't very happy with it being remade. What are your thoughts on Blade Runner 2049?
It doesn't bother the rename doesn't bother me because it's supposed to be X number of years after the original movie. Because the original movie was set in 2019, which isn't too far away. And this is just further along. So that didn't bother me. What I've seen of the trailers, I like the look. They've kept the look on that. And I like Denis Villeneuve. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. As a director, I've seen probably 4 of his films, and I find him very, very good. The most recent was it's the one that the giant spaceship, Amy Adams. They're trying to speak the aliens' language.
Oh my goodness. Oh, The Arrival.
Arrival, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Arrival. That
was
was
a really,
his.
really good movie.
Yeah. And then on the flip side, he also did Sicario.
Yeah.
A bang, bang, shoot 'em up, nasty, nasty crime film. But I like that too.
So are there any projects that you're working on that you want to kind of promote and talk about?
Well, let's see. This was about 2 years ago. I finished a low-budget sci-fi film that has been making the film festival rounds and doing quite well. I shot that one, and what I'm working on right now, so that continues to go on, and occasionally I'll get called by the director and we'll show up at a screening or something at one of the film festivals. Let's see, I am working on a short of my own right now, which we're planning on shooting in late June, and rewriting a horror script with the director that I worked with on Flytrap. So aside from that and the house things, I'm not doing a lot.
Fair enough. So I like to ask this question to all my guests that I've had on my show. Since you are a director of photography, what is some advice that you would give to a director of photography in the indie world, or any director of photography for that matter?
It's advice, but I'm sure most of them have figured it out. It's getting your vision to meld with the directors. I know there have been some clashes on set between one thinks it should be shot one way, and but I like directors, and I try to get whatever's in their head up on the screen. So I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. And I've never been asked that question before. Usually it's like, how do I get a job? That kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, that kind of wraps up our interview for today. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on my show. I really enjoyed interviewing you.
It was wonderful because it keeps me from doing stuff around the house. So thank you very much.
Thank you. And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thanks, Mother. Bye-bye.
Bye. guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and for our next segment, it is our music segment. So I had the privilege to go backstage at the Whitewater Amphitheater in New Brunswick, Texas, to watch the Mavericks perform. And I got to interview a couple of the members of the band. And so we're going to go ahead and play that, and afterwards you'll get to see a recorded version of what I saw live at the theater. So here we go.
This Slate Me music segment is brought to you by the multi-Grammy award-winning Blue Cat Studios, located in the King William District of San Antonio, and by Hohner Instruments, a music tradition since 1857, and by H. Jimenez Guitars, tradition with innovation.
Hi guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and we're here live on set at the Whitewater Amphitheater here in New Brunswick, Texas, with our musical guest all the way from Nashville, the Mavericks. Well, some of the Mavericks at least.
Yeah,
Couple of those dudes.
The ones that matter.
So you guys want to introduce yourself to my fans?
Sure. I'm Raul Malo.
And I'm Eddie Perez.
Awesome. So I'm just going to be asking y'all a few questions. So I guess we'll go ahead and jump into the first one.
Okay.
So the original band formed back in 1989. Were all of y'all in music leading up to the formation of the Mavericks?
Yeah. I mean, nothing to. There was. I was playing music, but nothing to write home about. I mean, it was, just a local musician trying to figure out his way. But always, I was playing music since I was young.
I mean, ever since you can remember. I mean, I think that's kind of the case for all of us in this band, I mean, I think that's why the communication on stage is so good. I think that you have to start early, in your age. I mean, all of us started pre-pubescent, obviously. I mean, this is how long we've been at it. So I guess, this has been a long life journey for all of us.
Sure.
This is something that we have just felt in our being, and I think it's what guides us through life now. So.
Wow, yeah, that's cool. Okay. 7 years later, with Flaco Jimenez on accordion, you took home a Grammy Award for Here Comes the Rain. What was that experience like?
Well, it was lovely. It's wonderful to get a prize, and especially to such a prestigious one. The Grammys certainly are the ultimate for music, anyways. The ultimate award, and so it was nice to be, but it was nice to be recognized by the industry. And that's who votes for that, and they just. It's a validation of your hard work, and bragging rights,
For sure. And so, you, Eddie, joined the band only in 2003.
Right.
And you were in a country band before that, correct?
Well, I've been at this pretty long time. Yeah. Right. Honestly, I've played guitar with lots of people in the business along the way. The highlight of my personal musical journey has always been playing music with Raul and the guys, Paul, and everybody in the band, because there's a certain something special that occurs with all of that. But yeah, I have had, this has been, for me personally, it's really been a very long, adventurous journey.
Yeah.
I've in the time that the band wasn't together, the Mavericks, from 2005 to 2011, I was playing guitar and making records and touring with Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah.
And I was also playing with Winona Judd a little bit, and I played a few months with Miranda Lambert. So I've been fortunate enough to bounce around, and all that stuff only goes to making where you are in the now.
Yeah.
And so I've been very fortunate in that way that somehow the clouds have parted for me. Yeah. I mean, considering where I started and where I ended up, I've considered myself very fortunate. So but it's been a long, fun adventure. I've gotten to see the world through music and through trying to just keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is just trying to give the best part of myself to that thing. That's how much I love doing that.
Yeah,
that's
the way
but this journey has started a long, long time ago, But again, among the highlights of my personal adventure has been playing music in this band with Raul and the guys. It's something that I missed that whole experience in the time that it wasn't there. So I was grateful that we got another swing at at this one again. So,
That's
and
good.
here
That's
we
the
are
way
now,
to live,
5 years
yeah.
into it. So I feel
Awesome.
pretty strong and empowered right now.
After the band went its separate ways in like 2004-ish, y'all got back together in 2012. What was the catalyst for bringing the band back for another swing at things?
We just wanted to appeal to a younger generation, and so we let our older fans die off and brought in the younger ones, and that's what we did. That was the plan. It didn't work so well though. I think in all seriousness, there's no rhyme or reason for doing anything. I think at the time, I think what everybody was feeling was a bit of a burnout, you know? Everybody was pretty tired. At that point, we had been at it a while, and I think, and there were some things going on within the band that we weren't necessarily aware of, but it wasn't right. And then, of course, they came to light a couple of years ago, because one of our members is no longer a part of the band, you know, so there was personal stuff to deal with, and so it just got a little bit much, and when it's time to take a break, it's time to take a break, and there's nobody that can tell you otherwise, you know.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think if you're not inspired in what you're doing, it can be quite a task to approach your everyday to-day, you know, goal with trying to push this music forward. And if everybody's not together on it for whatever reason, I mean, this is a tough business to be in, because at the end of the day, you're still just a person.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the other thing. The stage adds a certain dynamic, something to how people perceive you and what you do. But the truth of it is, we all work really hard at what we do. And the business can be rough, you know, and if you don't have your focus about you and you don't have your, you know, it can get very cloudy in those waters, and how's the music ever going to be any good? And what my experience has been through this band has always been that the music has always been paramount.
Yeah.
The music always has to feel good, and you got to go out there and put that energy forth on tour, and it takes a lot of energy and effort, time away from being home, so you have to feel right with it, you know. And I just think at that time for us, I just felt like, I mean, I was the new guy in the band, and so I was more like an observer, you know what I mean? And that was my experience, is that it just never felt like we just kind of, you know. But hey, I'm glad for that though, because it took some time to be away from it.
Yeah.
For all this new music, Raul made some incredible records in the time that the band had not been together, you know, and toured the world and had many different, like, you know, musical experiences with different band members and whatnot. And so all these years later, when we get an opportunity and everybody's energy is wrapped around getting back together, maybe seeing if we can make music again, he just happened to have all this collection of years behind him with all these records and all these experiences. And when that came to the band, I believe that brought a new revived spirit to what it is we do. And I think, you know, it's not so much knowing exactly what you want to do, but knowing what you don't want to do. And I think we all wanted to do this in a different way and approach it. Maybe, you know, try to get it right this time. You know, and I think the energy speaks for itself with the music and whatnot. And
for sure.
So, you know.
You have to feel it.
You have to feel what you're doing. Yeah, because you got to go out there and slug it out. You got to day after day, you know, different audience, and it is a challenge. It's a lot of work, you know. But music has to be paramount, and that's what's been my experience in this band.
Awesome, yeah. Speaking of wanting to do it, y'all just got back from your tour in Cuba, and you, Raul, are a first-born Cuban American, correct?
Yeah, first generation. Born Cuban American, yeah.
What is that experience like for you in particular, but I guess for all of you generally?
Well, I think we all felt a lot of your heart is filled with love and joy, because the Cuban people are really something else. You know, there are plenty of hardships, there's plenty of troubles, and there's plenty of difficulties. There is no doubt. Yeah. But through it all, their grace and their humor and their loving spirit, you know, shines on, and it made for an experience of a lifetime. You know, I can't even express enough about it, because no matter how you try to explain it, it's really, unless you go there and experience these complete opposites, and nothing is as it appears, and you know, you just it's literally a bit of a time machine, you know, and certainly nothing that we're just even as a culture, we're always, we want the latest things. They're the latest phones, the latest thing. Well, there's none of that there, none of it. And but they make up for it in other ways. All the kids play music, and they start off young, and somehow with all the hardships and the heartaches and broken promises and dreams, the music still music inspires and brings a lot of joy to a lot of people over there, and so that was beautiful to experience.
So y'all recently just released your 9th studio album called Brand New Day, which was recorded at a number of Icon Studios. What was that experience like for y'all?
Oh, well, for me, it was fantastic. Again, any time we get an opportunity to get together and put the guitars on and everybody sits at their instruments and we start playing in a studio, it's always a great place to be for me. It's always exciting because a big part of the luxury of my life has been that in this band, we musically and artistically, we get to kind of try to hit that spot and ride that wave, you know what I mean, of creativity and being meticulous and detailed, and I think it brings a lot of the best out in all of us, And then when you go to a place that's as historic as, let's say, Capitol Studios in Hollywood, we're, among, the legends that walked those hallways and made those records, and anybody from Nat King Cole to the Beach Boys to Sinatra to, it goes on and on and on. So it was a crazy cool experience to be in those halls and just and then making music with my friends, and then, it's where that studio experience is absolutely where the idea of this new record, Brand New Day, started. We started just trying to be creative and inspired. It was a dream of ours, I know, to go in there as a band and do something like that. The schedule permitted itself, and so we took advantage of the opportunity, and we did that. And then coming back home to Nashville, where all our family and friends are, and that's always a great experience too, because we're very, when it comes to that, we're very inclusive with that. We're all very much family men, and so you try to find the balance in all things, But being home in Blackbird Studios, I would have to agree, I think we all would agree that that's probably our most favorite studio. We feel like at home there, and it's just incredibly, staffed and stocked with all the best equipment, and it's just anybody that's recorded there probably comes back with that same feeling, But it was really great experience to let this record creatively blossom the way it did. When there were moments of inspiration, we got to it. Because we spend so much time out on the road touring. It's hard to find those chunks of time to do that. And somehow, the thing I guess I'm most proud about is that in the midst of all of that, being musicians on the road and businessmen tending to all the things we need to, we still found the time to do that too, So I'm very excited, very proud of it, because I think what is reflected from the music is the energy that comes out of it, and I think it's perhaps I believe our finest effort yet. So I'm excited about what the next thing's going to be, and that's the cool thing about the Mavericks too, is that in my experience, it's always been a musical, moving art piece from one thing to the next. So I'm always excited. I'm always looking forward to the next thing, But we're very, very excited, very proud of this record.
Yeah. So what is the message that this album is trying to portray to the fans that listen to it? Is there certain something?
Buy me.
Buy me. I can't live
me.
without you. I need you in my life 24 hours a day. It's
Purchase.
the soundtrack of my
Purchase.
life. I identify.
That's the message. I know it's simple. But it's deep. It's deep.
The deeper part for me being that I think, if anything, we're trying to connect with people. There's this is a different record in the sense that it feels very empowering, not just a title like that, Brand New Day. It's quite a declaration, but I think it's where we're at as people.
Well, and it's also our first record on our new label that we just started, Monomundo Recordings. So it does, I guess, in a very simple, very factual way, it does represent a brand new day, at least for the band. And within the songs, of course, there's always there's some songs are deeply personal, but I never like to talk about the songs because I never want to sway. I never want to sway anybody from latching on to them how they want to latch on to them, you know. But I guess at this point, you know, like on one of the songs, there's a song called "I Wish You Well," and it's a song I wrote about my dad. Before he passed away, he got ill towards the end of his life, and the meaning of it, the meaning behind it was, you know, we were together. I would come off the road and I'd go see him, and we'd hang out, and we never talked about anything heavy or emotional, and I think in a way he loved that because he just wanted to live another day, just like it was any other day. So we watched baseball, we watched the news, we talked about politics, we talked about all this other stuff, except about mortality, family, love, anything that having to do that you knew was not an ordinary day. And so at the end, I found myself thinking, you know, after 50 years, you know, of knowing my father, you know, we come to the end of the road, and all I can say is, I wish you well, you know. And so that's the meaning. That's the meaning of the song. And I guess you know, that's a personal song that I could talk about. You know, the other stuff, I leave it up to people to latch onto them however they want. You know, usually it's kind of the way it goes.
Awesome, yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining me on my interview.
Thank you.
I know it was taking time out of your day, but thank you so much.
Oh, that's okay. You did a great job.
Quite all right. You were quite lovely.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. So this is ending our interview segment, and I will see you in just a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back to Slate Me. I'm your host Samantha here, and this is the wrap for the end of this show, second show of the second season. So I'm really proud of this show. I think it went really well, and I hope you all enjoyed. And we will see you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and make sure to tune in. So I will see you guys next week. Bye.